kind of a surprise make for you today. We tested the By Hand London Hannah dress, which is their new pattern. So we did that a couple of weeks ago now.
Yep.
So Barbara unfortunately didn't have time to fit it in because she's got a crazy busy schedule at the moment. So me and Louise did, and we thought we'd make a video for you as well, so you could see the dress in a wee bit more detail, and we could talk you through what we did when we were making it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to go and ask Louise what she did with her fancy
Not many
dress.
options, really.
Yeah, me fine. Or you, yeah.
So, obviously I made the Hannah dress. There was different sleeve options, 3 different sleeve options.
Yeah, I can't remember which option.
So there's a standard sleeve, there's a bishop sleeve, and then there's a tulip sleeve.
Yeah, we both
went the tulip sleeve.
Yeah.
I was drawn to the bishop sleeve, but this is more... I'm run hot. This is more sensible. And I'd never done a tulip sleeve, so I was quite drawn to it, which was quite nice. Overall, the pattern's really lovely. Lisa Lex was like sharing it over the summer, and then we were like, oh, I really want that. So we messaged her and we were like, please, can we test it? We really, really want to make this dress. And luckily she let us. So I'm really happy to have made it. So I went for the tulip sleeve. Other than that, that's the only really option. You can make a top.
Yeah.
Or the dress. I made the dress, obviously. Oh, this is a really long top. Anyway, so I had the fabric in my stash. I got it from Walthamstow. I knew I wanted to make a dress out of it, so I bought quite a bit. And it's a really nice... it's like a polyviscous mix. But I love the colour. The dress on the whole, I went by the finished measurements rather than the actual measurements. So if I went by the actual measurements, I think, because it goes up to, so it's 8, is it 6 to 24 or something like that?
I think so.
So if I'd gone by the finished the actual measurements, I would have been a 22. But when I went by the finished measurements, I was a 20. So I went by that. So that works a lot better. I'm so glad I did, because actually I had to take some off of this one. So that's what I went. What's also quite nice about the instructions, so it's a 1.5 seam allowance on it, but she does say on it you can play around with the size of the seam allowance, which I quite like when a pattern omits that. So she did say that, but I stuck with the 1.5. I didn't twirl it first. I just made it up. And I wish I had twirled the top half, because actually it ended up being too long for me. Even with the finished measurements, maybe I just measured it slightly wrong, but it ended up being slightly too long for me on the top half. So what I did was I took 3 so I'd already sewn it. So I took 3 centimetres off the shoulder, like sewed it up. So that's 1.5 plus 3, so that's 4.5 on seam allowance on my shoulders, which helped a lot. And then made the skirt to waist joining to 2, just to try and... I didn't want the skirt to get too short, so that's why I didn't take more off of that bit. Just to try and like not lengthen it, because to take some length off, because the dress itself is quite low cut.
Yeah.
So if I didn't take that off the shoulders, I was literally showing the bottom of my bra, which is a look. Yeah. It's just not the look I was going for. Yeah. But if you want, then you don't have to lengthen it. You don't have to do anything to it. So I took that wedge off. Apart from that, that's the only real alterations I did to it. I did have a little trouble putting in the sleeve, but we were pattern testers. So I'm sure the rest of the instructions were incredible. So really happy. The illustrations really went with it. So really recommend that. And we have made by hand London patterns before. Our Christmas last year. So about this time last year we made one. And the instructions were great then. Yeah, they were. That was the only trouble I had, but then it went together. So the constructions was really nice. You bias bind the neckline. Which I think is a nice touch. And apart from that, I can't think of anything else. But I do think the pattern's really hackable, and also really would be really versatile. I do quite like the idea of making one of the tops. And I will make this pattern again because I do think it's really flattering. But I do think like the parts of the pattern would be really helpful. I can see myself putting a tulip sleeve onto something else. And the bishop sleeve, which I keep looking at, I really do. So I could see myself like taking parts of it and using it again, which is what you want for a pattern. You want one of those patterns where you can just grab and you can take parts of it. So I really enjoyed it and recommend it. Now it's your go.
So I was lucky. I got gifted my fabric from where I work now, which is Sumi Sunshine. And it's a viscose crepe, which is really lovely. It's really nice to make this dress in because it's really nice and floaty, and the gathers aren't too stiff. You know when
you definitely want something light, don't you?
Yeah. And I made a size 12. But I did twirl the bodice because I wanted to make sure my bust wasn't taking up too much of the length and it actually sat on my waist. So I did 3-inch FBA, so 1.5 inches on each side. I also narrowed the shoulders so the shoulder seam sits on the right place. So I've got better arm movement and it's not kind of falling off. And then what else did I do? Oh, and I also shortened the bodice. So it's weird. Like I have to lengthen the bodice to accommodate for my bust. But then because I'm short-waisted, I actually end up shortening the bodice because my waist isn't on a, I'm short.
You do a bit of an okey-dokey.
Yeah. So yeah, I did all that. So I did twirl the bodice, and also the main thing I probably changed different to the pattern was I did raise the neckline a little bit because I made the twirl and I looked at myself and I was like, no. It was just a bit too low cut for me. It was just a lot of boobs for a regular day to day, and I really wanted to make sure I had something that I could wear loads because if something's a bit too cleavage heavy, I'm a bit like I don't really know if I want to go out to work or to the shops or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I'll just raise it a wee bit. So I think I ended up raising it, I think by 1.5 centimeters, not very much, just enough just to give me a little bit more coverage. So that was fine and it worked out really well. So that was good. And then other than that, sewing it up was really, really simple, and it's quite a quick dress to make. I don't know, did you?
Yeah. Oh, it has pockets as well.
It does have pockets, but watch out if you're short, because I
they are a bit low though.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah, because I didn't check because I was like, I don't need to check the placement of the pockets. It'd be fine. Just whisked up the skirt bit, put it all on, and then went to put my hand in my pocket, and I was like, oh, they're lovely big pockets, but I have to you'll see we'll put it in the video thingies, but I have to lean down to reach the bottom of my pocket. So you might want to just check if you're short like me. I'm 5'2", and maybe my arms just aren't as long as regular people either. I don't know. But you might want to check your pocket placement so you can reach the bottom of those lovely big pockets without having to grope down your leg.
It will just I can just imagine it's just going to look like you have really, really deep pockets.
Yeah. It's let me just pull my umbrella out of my pocket. Mary Poppins TARDIS pockets. So that's the only thing that I might be a bit maybe I should have checked that. But also I must say that I put the sleeve in with the wrap to the back, and it's actually meant to be towards the front, which I don't really think it matters a huge amount, but just so if you're wondering if you're looking at it and you're making this one, don't do what I did.
Unless you like the look.
Unless you want it that way. I don't think it really.
No.
It makes a huge difference.
Still looks cute.
Yeah. So but yeah, I'm really pleased with it.
The neckline.
What?
So my neckline's slightly stretched out.
Oh, yes.
And then you said the top tip.
I put some stay tape in my neckline. So I put the stay tape in before I even stay stitched it. So basically my stay tape is my stay stitching. Because I knew that this would probably stretch out as you were working with it, because it is obviously, because it's a wrap dress, some of your neckline is going to be on the bias, so it does mean that it's going to be more inclined to be stretchy than if you're just got a round neckline. So I would maybe do that. Or you can get that. You can also use that interfacing.
Oh yeah,
with the little line of stitching
stuff
on
that Barbara loves. That I've been compared to. Yeah. I don't know what it's called. It's just like tiny bias binding.
Yeah, it's not, because it's like iron. It's not just because you can get interfacing strips that don't have that stitching in, but this has a little line of stitching already in it. Probably has if you know the name, let us know and then we can use the name. next time.
Maybe we'll just put like link below or something.
Yeah. Yeah, if we can figure out what the hell it's called.
I think.
But yeah, that'd be fine. And then I just really like it because you can wear it, like I can wear mine with a cardigan.
Yeah.
I can wear it with boots. You can wear it with tights, and then in the summer you've got a summer dress, so it's really nice.
It's like quite versatile.
Yeah.
And I think it's like you could dress it up to be really, really dressy, or it's just like a really nice like dress just to go around in.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely and it's really flattering. I really like it. So I would recommend the pattern.
And I really love like the size range was really like covered a lot, and it was also quite generous. So sometimes some patterns will say that they've got a big size range, but actually the sizing is quite small. Where this went really well.
Okay,
like
good.
I found that it covered quite a lot because I have really big hips compared to like the thing, and this obviously with a gathered skirt I don't have to worry that much, but it was covered. Like everything was covered in it. And also the detail of the measurements, like telling you, oh, this is this, it allowed you to make that decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went by the finished measurements, but just to note, it was just really inclusive.
Yeah. And also I think it's a bit easier to fit because it's a wrap dress as well, because you can kind of alter where you wrap it, so it makes it a bit, you're not as tied to the finished measurements, you can fudge it a little bit.
I think this is the first wrap dress I've made. I've made wrap jumpsuits.
Yeah.
Because
but it's not, but that's...
I love Sadie. But that's, you have nothing. But it's good.
There we go. First wrap dress.
Yeah. Well, hey. And a very good one.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah. So don't forget to check out By Hand London with the new Hannah dress.
Yeah.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, let us know what you think. Hope you enjoy this bonus episode. And don't worry, Bob will be back in the next one. It's fine.
Yeah.
You won't be just stuck with the two of us now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.